everybody. Welcome to another edition of Night Court. We are back together. Woo!
Wow, I can't believe this.
And it feels great outside.
It's hot as hell.
Oh my God.
Woo!
Luckily, we're doing this early in the morning.
With some fans going.
Oh my goodness. How are you, BK?
Man, I'm happy to come home.
It's good to have you back.
Man, it's always nice when you can always be excited to come back somewhere. And number one, we got a chance to do this. Like doing it as we do it, you know, over the internet, the way that we've been doing it on StreamYard has been, it's been fine. It's been cool to still talk to you, but it's nothing like sitting here with you, being able to for real see you. And so it's good to be home. Yeah. It's not good to be back to this heat, but I acclimated very quickly.
I brought you some gifts.
Okay.
For your return home. Okay. One is it's almost a complete team set of New York Football Giants football cards.
Oh.
Because I know how big of a fan you are.
I love these
of football cards.
And at least, you know what? The good thing about this is at least it's people that I know.
Yeah, because it's something that I'd never heard of.
Ron Daniel, Wisconsin. You remember him? Strahan.
It's
my golfing buddy.
That's a good. Yeah, it's his friend, Michael Strahan. Yeah, but some Giants old cards. Yeah, that I was going through a set, and I thought, well, there's some that BK might enjoy.
Man.
And then you remember that poster of you that we were going to buy.
Yes.
Okay, and we bought the poster.
It was still there.
Now it comes in this, which you think, well, maybe the poster's in half, right? This is the poster that we got.
So I tore it out of the magazine.
It's a cutout page of a magazine.
They literally tore it out of the magazine.
I mean, look, there's an ad on the other side for Jim Beam, right? Yeah. How about that? That was sold on eBay as a Brevin Knight poster, and it's a page for $13.
Do you know whoever sold it sitting at the house like, get the hell out of here? Somebody for real bought this.
So you're gonna have to sign it for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I can put it back in here because boy, you don't want it to get messed up. It might blow away. Holy hell! How about that?
You know what? But I don't know what I give him credit for.
Nice cut. It was a good cut.
Good cut. You know, a lot of times, remember you try to rip out the magazine? The one thing, you just try to see, let's see how ragged can it not be?
Right.
It's going to be ragged, but I just don't want to rip too much into the page.
Right.
And then you should try to go slow. It's like,
you think slow. A cutter? Think a paper cutter?
That was, I mean.
Because it's pretty well done.
That was top class.
Yeah.
Well, whoever y'all got it from, I appreciate you holding on to that for that long.
A Brevin Knight poster.
That Brevin Knight poster.
And it's a page out of a magazine. Unbelievable. All right, you can get Brevin Knight on Twitter at Brevin Knight 22. You can get me on Twitter at The Fish Nation, the show at Night Court 22. You can listen to this program each and every week wherever you get your podcast, but you can also view the show each and every week on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. We'll have links to it as well on Twitter, so just check that out, and that's how you can watch the show each and every week. And we have a beautiful background here today again.
It is beautiful today.
It's spectacular.
How about Donovan, my son? He gets on me about how I put out the show. He's like that you have to like do a caption, and then you have to have the link of the show to it. And I was like, well, how do you do all that? He's like, Jesus, Dad, you gotta know how to do something with this phone. And so, yeah, I'm trying to get you guys are good at doing it. For you across all platforms, it's fantastic. I still haven't done one Instagram post.
No,
yet.
And you're on the IG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've not one. And I don't even know like what, how, nothing. It's a shame.
Take a picture, and we can put it on the IG.
Should be our first. This will be my first post.
Yeah, it'll be good. There we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, there we are. We just took a picture. Boy, this is great stuff
This
for the
is
podcast.
riveting. So what do you do now?
All right, well, now you got to go to Instagram.
All right.
And then post or
I'm like, what does
do
it all
it to
mean?
Post.
Do a post?
Yeah,
All right.
boom. And then write a little something cute. Like
First
back
post.
at work or something like that.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's yeah, there it is. Back in the studio.
Back in the studio. That's good. That's good. This is good stuff. This is great stuff.
And then hit OK.
Yes.
Is that fine right there?
First post. Yep. Hit OK. And then share. And there you go. You've posted.
The next one we'll do will be at our 100th show.
How about that? You just posted your first Instagram, and I'm in it. I'm honored. That's awesome. All right. Hey, we got a big day tomorrow.
Yes.
Or today, as this episode is released. Today, we got a big day. It's the NBA draft taking place. And the Grizzlies are picking 9th in the NBA draft, which is kind of exciting that they have a high pick for a team that's got great expectations. You are like me. I don't know enough about these players to give you full breakdown on any of these guys. I will after the fact.
When it's all said and done.
Yeah, but I don't. And I'm not a good evaluator of whether or not a guy can play in the NBA either. So I'm not the one to talk to about the draft. Yet I just set up like 3 interviews for tomorrow. What am I doing?
I mean, you'll do enough research tonight to have
be
something
ready, yeah.
comprehensive to say, but
I guess so. But the one thing I did want to ask you, the Grizzlies picking 9th. Do you think they pick 9th?
I think they explore trying to move up. They've proven to be an aggressive front office, willing to make some things happen to increase their chances. So I think if something presents itself, I know there have been the rumors about Houston with them being able to move up to that 3rd spot and put them in a lot better position of being able to draft one of the bigs there at the top of the draft. And so I wouldn't put it past them. But if they do have to draft at 9th, as things have started to shake out, at least from those that are the prospects, it is guys that are of a size and length.
Yeah.
Now, what position, what they'll be able to do, how it'll fit, you still never, still a roll of the dice. But at least within that, that the size and athleticism is something that is a thought process for this team.
Yeah, and when you're picking 9 and you're in position that the Grizzlies are in, it's almost, not necessarily need. The need is you need to get a guy, if you're picking 9, you need to, or anywhere around there, you need to get a guy who is going to contribute to your team.
Yes. You don't want to get a project.
No.
At that point, because I still think that this team has to be in the mindset of still win right now.
Yeah.
You start to look across the landscape. There's some big free agent moves that may happen. Paul George with the Clippers. What happens with that? If he happens to leave, then that's a big void that the Clippers will have to fill as they move forward. And they're one of the upper echelons. JJ Redick, new coach with the Lakers. And then what else do they do? So that's another team. And then you look at the other up-and-coming teams. I think the Grizzlies feel very comfortable that they're also in that same talk. As you say OKC, you look at what Minnesota is doing, what Dallas is doing. And so I think this team, rightfully so, feels as though they're in that same position. And so you would like to keep pace with doing that, but not having to add someone that may help you down the road.
Yeah, I've made it known on this show. I don't like the draft. I don't enjoy it, but I'm looking forward to it because of what you said before. Neither of us know what the Grizzlies are actually going to do, but you assume there's that potential to move.
Yes.
Because they've done it in the past. And one thing the Grizzlies have done really well in under this regime is they've targeted players and they've went and gotten them. whether that's moving up, moving down, moving in, whatever. They've targeted guys and they've gone and gotten them. So having the number 9 pick and having other assets that they have, you would expect that there will at least be conversations and that possibility exists that that's going to happen with the Grizzlies, which could be very exciting.
Yeah, again, with the space and where they are right now, you know, and with re-signing guys, especially with Dez and Ja and Jaren, of course, that'll be your core. And then you still want to show those 3, and you want to put them in the best position to win present day.
Right.
They've been around long enough now that you're not any longer continuing to forecast so far out in the future. The future now is not. When they first were here, we were forecasting.
Right.
At this point now it is, okay, what are you doing to do it in the present? And I think that it's all about that mindset for this organization.
All right. Anything else? You got any other thoughts on the draft? I mean, am I missing anything?
No, it's going to be interesting, the 2-day thing with the draft now. And,
I wonder how that'll go.
It'll be. I wonder what the interest will be like in day 2. After day 1, I guess a lot will be predicated on who doesn't go in day 1.
Yeah.
That's the intrigue for day 2 of where will these people go and what will it look like. Now you start to get into maybe a little bit more of projects, guys that get drafted for those teams that are a little bit more set. You draft a guy that, especially if international, that doesn't come. Right. Or if he's young, he comes and he does a lot more G League playing, and then he bounces up and down. It'll be more for that. But I think that's, for me, just to see how that works, especially with TV, what it'll be like.
We got a stash guy, don't we? Babarovich?
We do. Who's been playing extremely well also. I mean, winning all-time MVPs.
See him in the Summer League, and
I would love to be able to see, because again, he fits the mold of what the need is: playmaking, size, scoring, and youth. But a lot of what happens with international players that have been playing professionally, even though they're still younger, they're a little bit more mature because they've been playing in that professional basketball. Right. So I think it'll be intriguing to see what he looks like.
Some coaching moves.
Yes.
In the NBA this week. The first one that came out was Jeff Van Gundy added to Ty Lue's staff.
I saw that.
How about that? That's interesting.
Well, I was just reading an article how he was talking about how much he had missed the game and hated being away from it, and then literally like the next week he was the head assistant for the Clippers, which will be, I think it's good for Ty Lue because it allows him to have another voice that he knows has been there, done that.
Yeah.
And and I think that Jeff has seen it from every angle now, from sitting in the head coach and being an assistant, doing it from the TV side. I think he is able to encompass all of what basketball is today.
How about being named a new general manager and having the ability to go ahead and make your first move of firing a guy that's got $65 million left on his contract? That's pretty bold. Monty Williams, out after 1 year.
My old teammate there, Trajan Langdon.
Yeah.
That made that big, bold move. But I think if you're going to be in that position, then you want to be someone that you're going to vibe with. If there was something that they weren't on the same page or weren't going to be able to work in that fashion, then if your owner is fine with eating that amount of money and going out and finding whoever the next coach is, then you got to do what you think is the best interest. But it is just, this is today's game. It is today's game, and I think for all of these coaches, the biggest thing is make sure you get a guaranteed contract. It's just like players. You don't know where it may be. I don't know where I'm going to be playing, but wherever I'm going to be, it's going to be paid. This contract will be paid by someone.
Yeah.
And that's the mind. You go in and try to do the best job you can, but these 1 and 2 years that coaches are being fired, I think I said it before, a lot of this is unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
I just don't know what else you expected from the Detroit Pistons. Maybe not to lose as many as they did in a row to begin the year. Maybe of course, or did they win the first game and then go on a losing streak? I think that's what won the first game and then went on that 20-plus game losing streak. So you didn't expect that, but this still is all a growth moment.
Kenny Atkinson hired at Cleveland.
Yeah, which job did he turn down? He had was the Brooklyn. No, they fired him in Brooklyn. The other year, there's some team where he had the job, and Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte.
Yeah, he thought Cleveland was a little better. A little better upside with this Cleveland situation than with that Charlotte one.
So Kenny Atkinson comes in as a new coach. What's the expectation for Kenny Atkinson? If JB wasn't good enough?
The expectation is that he's been around a winning culture, and hopefully the fire that he displayed. And when he was in Brooklyn, being their head coach, you give him credit. Like they were a overachieving team that had mix and match pieces.
Absolutely.
And I thought he did a fantastic job with getting them, as you said, to play hard every night. And they were no easy out. And so I think you're hoping to be able to get that level of hard work, attention to detail, but combined with the experience that he has gained by now being with the Warriors for the last couple of seasons around what it takes, but also dealing with adversity and what it's like to deal with teams that may be in flux or change. Because the Cavaliers still have some decisions to make with their roster as they move forward going. And so I thought they wanted someone that was experienced, has been around, has a reputation, and I think he fits that mold.
And then JJ goes to the Lakers.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, we really don't know what to expect. You know, we know how well he played.
I hope
the
he's
game.
good because I think he's cool. I do.
Yeah,
I think he's cool.
Yeah, listen. I root for all former players to do well in these roles, and pretty much in whatever roles, because for so long they say what you only can do. You can just play the game. You really can't articulate it. Well, then people started to be able to do well at TV jobs. They're like, oh, well, that's just personality. Then as coaches, like, well, you just can do assistants and help guys get better. Well, now you see guys being successful as head coaches. And so, and then you look in the business world and you see what guys. So just in all walks of life, I love to see guys after their career still have success. And so, I hope that he does well. The thing for him is, number one, is as good as at least you're going to a team that has a chance to win. Mm-hmm. Like you have the tools to win right away. You're not having to figure it out. You're not having to bring along a young guy to say in a couple years we'll get him ready. Like he has a tailor-made, ready-to-win team that's going to make some other moves to put him in a better position. So that'll help. And when you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis as your two anchors, it makes it a lot better of an introduction to your coaching career.
The vacant position currently is Detroit. Filled positions, Washington went with Brian Keefe. Phoenix went with Bud Budenholzer.
Yep.
Brooklyn, Jordy Fernandez, the head coach at Brooklyn, if you forgot. Charlotte. Do you know who Charlotte is?
Charlotte's new coach is... No idea.
Charles Lee, correct.
Oh, Charles Lee from, don't tell me. From Boston.
Yeah, Charles Lee.
Yes.
And then Cleveland with Kenny Atkinson and the Lakers with
a little turnover.
JJ Redick. It's a lot of turnover, yeah. How about that? NBA turnover. Yeah, it's crazy.
I wonder how many of those replacements, we can't do it right now, how many of those replacements were for guys 2 years or less that got fired, and how many of those teams have a new owner 3 years or less?
It's good homework for our listeners this week.
The new owners, 3 or 4 years, and within that 1-2 years, how many of those guys are 1-2 year guys?
Yeah. That's a lot of turnover in the NBA in an off season. All right, and we got the draft. A couple of other things. Stanley Cup Final.
Oh boy, I told you.
Edmonton came back down 3-0, come back to force a Game 7, and Florida just the better team in Game 7.
I mean, it was they say at the end of the day, defense wins championships.
Number 1 defense in the league.
And it finally showed up. I mean, for games 4, 5, and 6, they looked like sieves on defense. I mean, it was like a whole different team. And then I finally turned it on. I was like, this is pretty cool to see this team go back to back and be able to win. And then Edmonton won, and I was like, oh, okay. They won again. I was like, oh, I for real got to watch. And then it got to game 7. I'm like, don't tell me I'm for real about to watch.
Yeah.
Come back and win it. No Canadian team. I mean, all the storylines of it all would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Florida's defense really, they stood up when they had to.
Yeah. And Connor McDavid wins the Conn Smythe for the MVP of the postseason. That's weird. First time that's happened in like 80 years. This guy on the losing team wins the Conn Smythe trophy.
I don't believe he broke any records. If I'm mistaken, he may have. I don't know if he did, but if anything of significance, that would overshadow the fact that the Panthers just went back-to-back seasons and won their first championship, and so I'm never a fan of the losing team having the MVP.
No, I'm not.
I'm just like they let you pat him on the back and be like, no way, you're the best individual.
He doesn't want it either.
Yeah, like what? I was the best of the worst. Like, I was the best player and we lost.
Yeah.
Like, that's just and I mean, you know, it's something that's such a team-oriented sport, the way that hockey is. Like it's very hard for hockey to be won by one person.
Yeah.
You know, like some of these other sports, like you may have one guy who can like fully dominate. Hockey's a little bit harder for you to just go out there and say, hey, here you go. We'll stand over here like Teen Wolf.
Right.
And the rest of us will stand over here.
Dude skates in between everybody.
Yeah, just let your hair flow through your helmet. Or no, don't even wear one. Just get out there, score all the goals, be Teen Wolf of hockey.
That's not what the deal. That's not how it works.
Right.
Generally, is what we're saying. Yeah. So that was good. That was exciting. And then the College World Series finished last night as well. And Tennessee, congratulations to Tennessee as they win the national championship, beating Texas A&M. Pretty cool deal there.
That's really cool.
That was awesome. I love being a former baseball player myself. I'm free to say things like this, but baseball players in general are pretty big douchebags. I mean, they just are.
Listen, I got beat up by the pickleball community for something I said on TV last season. This was not me, or 2 seasons ago. I did not say anything about baseball players being a douchebag. So all you baseball people out there, do not come at me about this baseball.
Oh, we are. I mean, we are. I'll say we even. My wife says it all the time. Quit being a baseball player. I'm like, I understand when she doesn't want to cuss in front of the children. She just says quit being a baseball player.
I like it.
But
they didn't just cuss.
But you know, they always wear. They got their Oakleys on and looking cool like the big leaguers. My favorite are the guys who wear them on top of their heads. It's at nighttime.
I love it.
It's a night game. But the thing that's really noticeable this year about the College World Series was to look like the big leaguers. They all got chains now. All of them got chains. Some of them are real thin, but they're all wearing chains.
You can tell the dudes that got a decent NIL deal.
Yep.
And other dudes that you just get some money to being on the team.
Oh man, it was amazing to me. It was so noticeable. I was like, yeah. I mean, because big leaguers, they're all wearing them.
I know.
All of them. And which is crazy to me because I'm like, how do you run and these things are bouncing off your face?
And even when they get to the base, they get there. You see, they all got to fix them.
Yeah.
Like they'll run as soon as they get done running. It's like do their sign. Like they got more signs and stuff than do to the bench and.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got it all going at the bench, and then they get done, then they fix the chains. I love it, man.
Yeah, so that's come to college ball, which is kind of funny.
Baseball, listen, man, they are encouraging whatever. If you think it's cool, do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. No, hey, y'all. If they think it's cool, let it happen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody get changed. They may even.
We need baseball to be cooler.
Baseball may even send chains to all Major League Baseball players. If you're a Major League Baseball player, you get 3 chains.
You get 3?
Depending on the level.
Yeah.
That's like
the
if you
thickness?
get thickness and if we put diamonds in them.
Right.
Like the just starting off guys, you guys get the little regular gold rope one that we all got at like when we was 6th grade.
Right.
Y'all get those. You get a couple of those. And as you move up the ranks, then the studs, you know, they get the platinum with the diamonds that go all the way around. A couple of those.
Yeah. I think that needs to happen. NIL deal. I think that's a good idea. I saw Inside Out 2, the movie this week.
I saw you. So I saw that. I don't know.
I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Just what I realized.
You don't really need to see 1 to understand 2.
Here's just what I realized, and you'll see this happen when your kids aren't kids anymore.
Yeah.
You don't know what the cool kid things are anymore.
Right.
And I remember when I had younger kids though, and people didn't know, I used to be like, "How don't you know?" Like,
dude, I saw this movie and they're telling me it's the #1 movie in the world. In the world right now. The #1 movie in the world. And I was like, well, it was good.
Like what is it? Well, don't go into too deep of it. We got other things to talk about. But like,
it's these it's emotions of this. There's a girl,
right?
Riley, and the main characters are like her emotions.
Oh, that's what the
in her head, and then anxiety shows up in this movie and just causes havoc because puberty hit on the girl.
Oh, so it's okay. So it's like a real life.
All animated.
But because like nice little life lesson to it.
Yeah. No, it's good. It was good. I laughed a few times. Boy, what a day I had, Brevin. I went to Waffle House. Oh my God, it was so good. I mean, they're like Ruth's Chris. It's perfect every time. Perfect every time.
Don't ever.
And I got the Texas.
Say Waffle House and Ruth's Chris in the same.
I got the Texas melt with sausage, egg, and cheese. It was amazing. With the hash browns covered and chunked, and then left Waffle House and went straight to the movie theater. And I looked at the boy and I said, "You good, or do you want something?" He goes, "No, we're getting popcorn." I was like, "Oh my God." We ate a big ass bucket of popcorn.
That's my big thing for going to the movie. Popcorn and cherry icy.
Oh, and
I hate places that don't have the icy.
Walked out of the movie theater and it was 100 degrees and I had a hoodie on because I knew I was going to freeze inside the movie theater. But so saw Inside Out. It was good. Good movie. Good. I'll give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up for Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2. Yeah. I drove to St. Louis. Construction. Here's my problem with construction. I admire people who work construction. Couldn't do it. Not that I don't want to do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do what they do. But I don't understand the schedule. Because when 3 miles are closed and there's not a single person working, what?
Why is it closed?
Could we have like maybe a mile closed or a half mile closed? But we got to close down the 3 miles. I mean, it took me. I lost 27 miles of time stuck in the construction. No, it gets that was
me.
Not constructing. There was no constructing.
No, it gets me. It was just that you took down the lanes.
They were barrels.
What gets me is when you have construction going on, there's like 10 people there and nobody's doing anything. Well, we got 2 people. We got 2 people that's doing something and the other 8 are just standing around.
You know what I learned today driving over here to your place? There was construction going on and they were wearing hats like yours.
I told you. Listen, you can't be out in this heat and not protect yourself. You had to protect that neck.
All right. Caitlin Clark became the first rookie guard to have multiple double-doubles in a season in 17 years. Shout out Caitlin Clark. Bad news out of the wind buzz at Cameron Brink, torn ACL.
That's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about CB, who has been an absolute force on both ends of the floor, blocking shots defensively, knocking down shots on the offensive end. It was hard to see her go down in that fashion. And so hopefully she has a speedy recovery, but It's gonna be. I watched a couple of WNBA games. They were on yesterday. Yeah, I think they had yesterday. They had a bunch on. Like it's. I tell you the level of athleticism from when it first started to where it is today. When it first started, it was you would just have a couple of ladies who were there was athletic. You can see it. Now you watch it, it's everybody that's on the floor, and between the size, the shooting ability, it's a. I tell everybody, it's a fun brand of basketball to watch. If you love basketball and just don't want to see everybody just running and dunking every single time, no real defense, you just want to see. It's fun to watch, especially now as you start to get closer and closer to the end.
And now you know some names.
Well, that's
a huge thing.
That's the only way that it can continue to grow is you got to have some type of ground swelling, and I think that ground swelling is going to continue to get bigger and bigger as things go on. And I think as much as Caitlin Clark has been here recently, I think the Aces team and what they've been able to do has been as much as an uplifter for the league as anything.
Yeah, no doubt. That's our Caitlin update for the week. All right, how about a shout out toast this week?
All right, who you got? Tell me a toast.
To the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays, who passed away this year. Was your dad a big baseball fan?
My dad was. He didn't talk a lot about baseball. He was just huge basketball guy.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I don't.
Because I would imagine your dad, if he was baseball, he would have been Willie Mays.
Exactly, but the thing is, he may not have been baseball, but he understood the importance of Willie Mays. You know what I mean? In all of those scenarios. Now, he may not have been something in terms of I want to go outside and play and do it, but he understood the influence that Willie Mays had on the game.
How about these numbers on the game? 24-time All-Star, World Series champion, 2-time National League MVP, Rookie of the Year, 12-time Gold Glove Award, National League batting champion, 4-time National League home run leader, 4-time National League stolen base leader. He was, some believe he's the greatest of all time, and I think he's got a great argument for greatest of all time. So,
sometimes we get into that argument
awesome.
in whatever sport, whatever it may be, about the greatest of all time, and I think all of those people who would be considered in that have to feel a great sense of accomplishment that you're even considered to be that. Now, the competitors that they are, I bet you they all like, shit, I want to be one. I'm the best.
What do you mean? What do you mean one of the greatest of all time?
You know what I'm saying? No, I am the greatest to ever play this sport. Not the greatest to play it in your town, the greatest to play it at your school. Like, the greatest to ever play the sport. Like, to be considered in that, it has to just be. And for those that are still living and we're talking about it, just a fantastic accomplishment. And then to the others, to their families, it has to feel good to continue to hear their names in that way.
Yeah, no doubt. So shout out to Willie Mays.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a huge toast there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's going to do it for us this week here on Night Court. Man, enjoy the draft.
Well, shucks, we're going to be working. What do you mean? Enjoy it.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to be up there giving predictions. You're going to be up there giving great insight on why people went where they went and what their influence would be, whether it's immediate or it's a long-term impact, whether it's an offensive or defensive side of the ball where they can really help this team. Yeah. I look forward to the breakdown that you're able to give Wednesday evening as we get things going.
I got nothing. That's why I'm on the last hour. And that's why I'm on with Lang, Kelsey, and...
No, you're not on with Kelsey anymore.
Why not?
She got switched to the first segment.
Oh.
She's on the first hour now.
Oh.
Somebody, Devin. Hopefully that's not enough people gonna be watching and be like, oh, he told somebody they weren't gonna be there.
So are we back here next week, or are you gone again?
Next week we're back on StreamYard.
We're back on the streaming.
We're back on the stream.
Well, I hope I can do it from outside because my My indoor Wi-Fi is just not acceptable. It's just not acceptable.
I think I have to go over and help the positioning of where the Wi-Fi is. I think we have to do better about the positioning of the Wi-Fi.
Could be about the positioning.
We don't have to worry about the doors open and close as much. I think we're gonna put those a little bit lower on the list.
Yeah.
I think right now what's high on the list is, can we get it a little bit more centralized?
That's the key.
If we can get it more centralized, I think all of those airwaves will flow a lot easier, even if the door is closed, because they'll work around to the creases.
The crease.
Right now, that's the problem. When you close the door, they can't get to the creases.
Can't get to the creases. The Wi-Fi in the air. Yeah.
They need a little bit more strength to be able to force their way side and top and through the keyhole if you have one.
Through the keyhole. That'll do it for us here on Night Court this week. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget you can listen wherever you catch your podcasts each and every week. And of course, you can watch the show at the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. So watch Night Court that way as well. For BK, I'm Fish. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for joining us here on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.